episode.
3.
I
like that one. Okay.
Let's keep it.
All right. What's going on, guys? We're having fun inside.
Yeah, getting my kill streak up.
Yeah.
Not IRL. I haven't just been going to the grocery store and just killing people.
Just coughing on people.
Yeah. Nah, just not that.
Ooh.
You know, keep it to my own household.
That's spicy. Right. So let's talk about this paper, huh?
Which paper?
The COVID one. You know, actually, I actually have an idea. You know, I could just share the screen on Discord, and everybody can see it.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Are you talking about the paper, about attacking the 1 beta chain of hemoglobin?
Yeah.
And capturing the porphyrin to inhibit human metabolism?
Yeah. Give me your expert opinion, Isaac. Pharmaceutical chemistry major.
Okay. The best I can do is read the abstract for you.
No, I think a child could do that.
No, some of these words are big, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
novel.
Like docking.
The docking.
Docking.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah. Glycoprotein.
Yeah, so how do you actually, so is there a way that you could actually like verify this at home? Like, you have the software to do this?
Do you mean like turn it in, or what do you mean by verify?
No, not turn it in.
Oh, do you mean, well, I think the files on here are just image files. They don't actually give us the docking file that we can put on the software.
Oh, not the image files, but we'd have to get it from the database. Because they said they got it from NCBI.
Yeah, if you get the data from the database and put it into the software.
Yeah, there's a link somewhere here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have access to it anymore, just because I graduated. But
wait,
you can
access
definitely.
To what?
There's a specific software you use to dock it and to edit it. There's probably some free software somewhere, but the good one, yeah, that one takes into account like the angstrom length and everything, and all the other.
Yeah.
Wait, so what are you talking about? Because I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, so I guess let's just explain it really quick. Well, Jeremy, did you look at the paper at all, or no?
Which paper? You linked a few, right?
No. It's just this one paper. So there's these two scientists from Szechuan University, and then
the sauce.
Yeah, from Szechuan Sauce University, and they were looking at the protein interactions of the COVID virus with the proteins in the viral envelope and like the non-structural proteins that are transcribed. And they wanted to see like what proteins they would bind to. So I don't know if they already specifically knew that, or if it was already like part of their hypothesis that hemoglobin was going to bind to it. But I guess that they ended up like trying it, and it seemed like it was effective. From what I saw, they said that the envelope of the virus, or one of the envelope proteins, would bind to iron and hemoglobin, and then so basically the iron would pop off, and then it would just be the porphyrin ring of the heme group, and then one of the non-structural viral proteins would bind to the porphyrin ring, so like iron couldn't bind to the heme group anymore. So iron is what allows for like gases to bind to heme and red blood cells. So once so allegedly the virus completely inhibits hemoglobin from doing gas exchange.
acts similarly to carbon dioxide, but a different mechanism, I guess.
You mean
Just,
carbon monoxide?
Yeah, sorry, carbon monoxide. Ooh,
Okay.
I think I've been breathing. I think I've been breathing in too much carbon monoxide.
Well, I mean, it's pretty similar to carbon monoxide, right? Because I guess what the case of carbon monoxide is that
It blocks oxygen from binding.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically just competitively. I mean, it's a better competitive binder to hemoglobin than all the other gases, right?
Yep.
But in here with COVID, it's like specifically
it just prevents. Yeah, it completely prevents anything from binding. It doesn't. Not even competitive.
Yeah. Like it's just like a two-step process of deactivation.
So where does the hydrochloroquine come into play in regards to this?
So they tested two drugs here in this study, using their like molecular docking model.
Yeah, the paper's saying that the chloroquine can prevent it from binding to the heme, the porphyrin. So if it doesn't bind to it, then it can't prevent the heme from taking in oxygen and carbon dioxide and doing what it regularly needs to, so people won't suffocate. Supposedly, according to the paper.
Yeah, I think that's I'm not finding the right part right now, but I think with the hydroxychloroquine, that's they figured out that it's able to bind to some of the non-structural viral proteins, and that prevents the virus from deactivating the heme groups. I believe that's right. They also tested a different antiviral drug as well.
The favipiravir.
So chloroquine, was that the malaria or the Ebola one?
That's malaria.
Malaria. It's like anti-parasitic, and it's also immune suppressive. Oh, so the antiviral drug that they also tested was favipir. Oh God.
Yeah, you're joking at me.
No, you're saying something with like an R.
No, it has like 3 R's, George.
That's 2.
Okay, I said like 3 R's.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna sound it out. Favipir,
George, you gotta do it. You gotta clap it out, George. That's what they taught me in grade school.
Favipiravir. Favipiravir. That's the first time I said it out loud.
I think that's the wrong inflection.
Why? What do you think it is?
Favipiravir.
Oh, do you think it's like Favipiravir?
Oh shit, he has a stroke.
That's funny. I'm Joe Biden.
You two-headed dog sledder.
Yeah, go listen to your record player, kids.
You gotta punch out domestic violence. That was so funny. It was like you gotta beat domestic violence out of the system, like one punch at a time or something.
Poor kids are just as bright as white kids.
that like 2-second pause is gold.
Yeah.
Like right after he's like, and
yeah. Like he just realized what he said.
No, but he also like was like, can I say black kids? That's what he was thinking too. Cause he's like poor kids and white kids. It's like, can I say black kids? Like,
yeah. All right, favipiravir. Yeah, so that was like the second antiviral, right? So yeah, binds to envelope protein. So they both work pretty similarly mechanistically, but they just have these two drugs have a higher binding affinity to the viral proteins than the viral proteins do to the porphyrin and heme. So that's really interesting. So this is a preprint. I don't really know too much about preprints. I don't even know like how people call this journal. What Chem RXIV? Like how are you even supposed to pronounce that? Isaac?
Huh.
The site.
Kenrix.
Camrixiv. Like, come on.
Yeah, so
how do people actually say this?
I don't know. ChemRxiv.
ChemRxiv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So preprints are just like made public before they're actually submitted for peer review.
Yeah.
So they might actually be completely off, and then we won't really know because only experts would have the best say of like in the field to say like whether they're docking or whether their data and all their assumptions made like go along with what their data is saying. So they're just basically putting it out there right now to see if it helps any other person doing research.
I mean,
there's also
go ahead.
Yeah, there's also a chance they might be completely off. Other people might use this preprint to like to set up their data, and then they can be like setting up their conclusions off of wrong references, like they're completely off. So that's kind of the dangerous thing about preprints. But I think for right now, any useful information is appreciated.
Right. Well, what was interesting was that these results also tie into this doctor's account of what's going on. You both watched that video, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I linked the newer one as well.
Wait, are you screen sharing on?
Yeah, it is being screen shared.
How do I? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you recording the audio as well?
Yeah.
Craig is.
With the audio from the video?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, so this is actually one of the newer videos. I mean, he doesn't really say much here. He's just like, "Oh, things are bad."
It's a previous one that's pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a 6-minute long video, and he was just saying that. Well, this doctor, works in the ICU in New York, where things are pretty bad right now.
They're really bad. You know, last time we were talking about the numbers, they're like every 10 minutes someone dies.
Yeah.
In Iran or something. Now it's down to 3 minutes.
Yeah, in Iran or here?
No, New York.
Oh, New York. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things are pretty bad over there, and I guess he's on the ground, and he's just saying that the disease is like nothing they've ever seen before, and from what he says, it seems like it's not a problem with people's lungs, but instead it's an issue. Like it looks like altitude
of being
sickness.
Able to retain oxygen, right? Or just even having enough oxygen.
Like people are actually just being oxygen starved.
And they're saying that the issues they see with the lungs is more due to the ventilator, right?
Yeah. So what people assume before is that it's ARDS that's killing people, which is acute respiratory distress syndrome. And that happens when there's so much inflammation in your alveoli, So like in your lower sacs in your lungs where the gas exchange actually happens, fluid starts building up inside the alveoli, and then you can't do gas exchange anymore. So there's no respiration happening. Like you could be breathing, but there's no gas exchange, and your cells won't be able to respire. So with mechanical ventilation, it has a tendency to, it's like very difficult on your lungs because there's a lot of shear forces with mechanical ventilation that you have to be like very careful with, and it can make ARDS worse. And what he's hypothesizing was that people might actually be dying because they're being put on the ventilator because it's like aggravating or irritating their alveoli so much that it's just making things worse.
At the end of the video, he mentioned that they should still be using ventilators, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying that it'd be better to use them than not to use them, pretty much, right? It's kind of what he's inferring.
But is this the first doctor that says something like that?
So this was the only account that I've seen where he says like, oh, something's like really off here. Like it doesn't seem like it's just a lung problem. I've heard other doctors say as well, just through Twitter, that this disease is nothing like they've ever seen before. But especially with the whole ground glass thing, and nobody really knows what that is. If that's just lung tissue being destroyed, from lack of oxygenation or something like that. But people just really don't know what it is right now.
I feel like it's easily testable, though, right? You just get blood samples of people dying from the disease.
Yeah.
And then you can actually see if it's actually binding to some of their hemoglobin.
I guess you could, right?
Yeah, that sounds like it should be easily testable.
Yeah, because I was just trying to think of what the experimental design actually is, right?
Yeah. I mean, they already have reference data for what hemoglobin should come up in any kind of like spectrometry or anything, so they can just see if it's a regular heme or if something else is on it.
Well, I was trying to look into that, right? Like how hemoglobin testing is actually done. And it's just, the way they do it is like pretty basic. Like they just kind of measure the amount of light that's coming through in their sample. Like they just try to isolate the hemoglobin, right?
Yeah.
And then just do an optical test to see how much hemoglobin is in their sample. But
I guess if it's reliable, then I don't blame them if it's cheap.
Well, the thing is that what really makes me wonder if that people are suffering from having their heme groups deactivated by the viral proteins. How does that actually reflected in the hemoglobin test? Like does that change the amount of light that's being that's making it through?
Mm-hmm.
Like I really don't know. I don't really think there's a lot of research into it yet either, but that'd be really interesting to find out. Also, I've seen some papers somewhere that's saying that there's an AI that's actually predicting who's going to have respiratory distress. Let me see if I can find this really quick. What was this one? Artificial intelligence predicts severe disease in COVID-19 patients.
So what's the input for the AI?
I think they would just get fed a bunch of biometric data. I think you just feed it a bunch of information from cases, right? And then see what the correlation is between what their actual biometrics are compared to what the risk is for going into respiratory distress. You don't really even need an AI to do something like this.
No, you just need to put like over 70 and then has asthma, and it's going to tell you yes.
Well, yeah, I don't know why they mentioned that, but maybe it's because it just helps them go through the data faster or something. I don't really know too much about how they would do that. If Jeremy, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure it's going to be a lot faster. I mean, they're already pretty strained for resources currently. So I guess any little thing would probably help a good amount.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll make much of a difference. They already screen every person that goes into the ER or the hospital if they have corona cases. And then from there they can just tell whether
But think about it, like what's the normal way to gather data? Like you have to get a nurse to set up everything, and then the nurse has to go around and then record everything. But maybe there's some kind of system that could pretty much gather all that data automatically, and you just feed it into the AI instead of kind of like passing it around, like having a nurse write everything and then maybe pass it to a doctor that analyzes it. And if considering there's more and more people getting sick, if there's a system that automatically analyzes all the data, that's going to save a lot of time.
Yeah, but you also have to consider like where are you going to get all this biometric data from every person? That's a whole bunch of privacy issues that are going to come up.
That's
and
one
also,
thing I'm wondering about. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, what if the data says that the amount of people that need to be hospitalized right now are more than what there is capacity for? What do you do then? What does your data do? Like,
well, that's going to happen regardless. So.
Well, yeah, but right now they're kind of easing up to it, and then like after we hit the peak, then we can taper off.
Well, yeah, I think really just the advantage of the AI is just speeding up like analysis. It's because they're getting like a ton of data from patients, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, and they need to like figure out how to go through it quickly because we don't, there's not a lot of time.
Yeah, but that data has to be anonymized.
Yeah, of course.
Unless
they're not going to put everybody's names on.
Well, no, think about it. Like when a patient goes, I don't know, has heart rate goes to 0, doctors get alerted, right? They get paged automatically or something, right?
Yeah, within their own system, they still use faxes and pagers just because they can't use.
But that means there's some kind of mechanism in place that connects that data to some kind of a system that data is connected to a person. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And there's some system in place for that. So if you leverage that system in place, and then you put another layer in between, which is the AI, I can see it working within the system.
But there's no data set that includes all like American medical data. They're each
you'd want live data.
Healthcare system.
They're not trying to compare it. They're not trying to compare it with people in the normal population. They're just trying to figure out, like the purpose of this particular article was talking about like what cases are going to lead or most likely to result in like severe illness.
But is it like a generic thing, like for a subset of a population, or is it very specifically on a patient by patient basis?
So what they got from these results was they said there's 3 metrics that could hint what was going to happen to them. Like, so one of them that was stood out to me was the hemoglobin levels. Higher levels of hemoglobin was strongly linked to subsequent respiratory distress. And I saw this and I was thinking that maybe there's a connection with that paper that we were just talking about. But that's really just speculation. Like, I have no idea. There's 2 other metrics. There's the alanine aminotransferase. I'm not really too familiar with that. I don't know, Isaac, do you remember physiology?
No, I think I've ever. Yeah, I'm not familiar with aminotransferase either.
No, I just know I think that's it's like a pretty common test in like blood tests. So liver, kidney function, pretty much. This sounds like something related to energy production. I don't know. I really don't remember. Yeah, but it's just like a liver metric. What was the third one? Was myalgia. That one's kind of a vague one. Myalgia or deep muscle aches. Oh, that's really interesting. So,
old people are always achy, right?
Yeah, I mean that one's so vague, right? Because how do you can't? There's no way to objectively compare that, right? Like you just have to rely on the patient telling you that. Like there's no number that you're gonna get from doing a blood test that's gonna tell you how achy somebody is. But,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you can use data if you want to get some conclusion, but it doesn't sound like it'll be too effective unless they come to some agreement.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're pretty much packed and you don't have enough people to analyze each person, then what are the options?
Well, then you're just leaving morals out of it and just letting data decide who lives.
I guess so.
Yeah, what's gonna happen after? It's like my mom died because this program said she wasn't worth like administering to the hospital.
Oh, like you're saying, like what's the point of this?
I'm saying more data is better than no data.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of moral and.
But the way they're probably gonna do it reasonably is they're gonna double check anyways with a human.
Yeah, but they already pre-screened, so you're saying double work? Use that data along with.
Well, not exactly double work. You're probably still going through everyone individually, one by one. But I don't know. You have some targets that maybe you can jump through.
Yeah, hopefully they have some admin person. It's not just the nurses just having to go through that while being overworked.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff missing here.
Yeah, I feel like the questions they ask, the data they're asking for is very limited.
Yeah, so I really don't know if there's anything that can get from that. I don't know. So there's another metric that was supporting the hypothesis in the paper. There's a compound called, I want to say it's ferritin. Let me check that really quick. Ferritin. It's it's like some iron, like derivative. So, yeah. I've seen some papers that say that elevated ferritin levels are being detected in the blood of COVID patients. And elevated ferritin is something that happens when there's more iron in the blood. So that could match up with, the iron ions being popped off of the heme groups. So I thought that was an interesting correlation. Yeah, but really, it's going to be interesting to see scientists critique this paper. I'm looking forward to seeing what people are going to be saying in the next few days.
You think it's going to change what we already know about the disease?
Well, I think so, because right now, well, the one thing that the doctor in the video was saying was that everybody's treating it like viral pneumonia, but it's not like any viral pneumonia that he's seen. I've seen people say that, having a dry cough for pneumonia is like very unusual. Like pneumonia is supposed to be more of a wet cough. I mean, probably shouldn't say it because I'm not a clinician, but I've definitely seen a lot of doctors saying that, they've never seen something like this before.
But there is fluid that builds up in their lungs, right?
Yeah, but that happens. Yeah, that does happen. But yeah, that's just a part of the amount of inflammation happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just a lot of doctors out there just saying that they've never seen anything like this before. And I mean, if it's really just viral pneumonia, like, how come they can't, treat it effectively? Like, why are they having so many problems? Like, why is it that, according to many studies, why is it that at least 50% of people going on the ventilators are dying?
That is true. You would think as long as you can keep the ventilators going, people wouldn't die.
Yeah, it's just...
You can just artificially...
One thing I'm wondering is, what's the standard treatment for altitude sickness?
If somebody is altitude sick, you just have to get them down to sea level, like, as fast as possible. Just give them oxygen. Try to give them as much oxygen as they can. Yeah, I mean, because there's just a problem with the body not acclimating to the level of oxygen in the air. So I saw somebody saying that you could try doing a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. So that artificially increases the amount of the air pressure, and also like the amount of oxygen saturation. So that could be a way to do it. But I mean, with the way that they say, I mean, with the mechanism proposed in the paper, like, I don't even know if that really matters. Like, if the actual hemoglobin is practically being destroyed or, deactivated, like, it's not really going to matter if you just give them more oxygen, right? If they can't even do gas exchange.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they should have a method to check, like if they isolate the hemoglobins. Because what is getting attached? It's like a positive strand of RNA getting attached to the hemoglobin. Is that right?
No, it's not. It's not a So it's actually, it's part of the envelope that's popping off the iron atom, and then it's one of the non-structural proteins that's transcribed from the viral RNA that's binding to the porphyrin ring. Yeah, so it's not the actual RNA virus itself, or the actual RNA strand itself that's binding to heme.
Okay.
Right,
okay,
yeah.
That makes it a little more difficult then.
Yeah, because with the life cycle, it's the RNA strands are, well, it's not just the RNA strands, right? You have the viral capsule, right, with the RNA strand inside of it, and I guess whatever other proteins it has, it's binding to the ACE2 receptor and then getting access to, the inside of epithelial cells using that receptor. Then, it just replicates, and then it gets inside the bloodstream and starts destroying heme. I thought it was really interesting that it can bind to the ACE2 receptor, and like that's how it gets into the cell. I was really confused about what that meant at first, because when I think ACE2 as well, but that's the receptor that's used for angiotensin converting enzyme, which is, that's just a part of the pathway to regulate blood pressure.
Yep, right? It's a lot of like drugs, blood pressure drugs. Take advantage of the ACE2 receptor.
Yeah, so it's not like a gated channel or anything, right? Like the ACE2 receptor is just supposed to trigger a pathway inside of the cell, which is what they call a G-coupled protein. but I don't know. I'm really curious to see what the actual mechanism of how it's getting inside the cell. Like how is it exploiting the receptor in a way where it's able to gain access to the cell? It seems really interesting.
Well, that kind of explains why it's so effective. Well, not effective, but it's so it exists more often in lungs than a lot of other places in the body, because the lungs, the cell membrane of the lung cells, those have the ACE2 receptors, which can be exploited by the virus. So
yeah.
I didn't know that before, actually. So that actually explains why it's so prominent in the lungs of people,
Yeah.
not in other places.
Yeah. It makes it really interesting. Yeah, so I suppose that, if they want to see how heme is binding to the viral proteins, probably. I remember Lance was saying that was it electron microscope?
Yeah.
Yeah, electron microscopy. So I guess you would actually be able to see like the structure of the bonds. Is that correct?
I don't think electron microscope can see that far.
Oh, is that something you'd have to do with like X-ray crystallography?
Yeah, that's more of an X-ray crystallography, XRD kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, electron microscopes can see some really small things. Maybe if they've gotten more advanced than from what I know, maybe they can see that. But mostly it's X-ray crystallography that can test out the bond length and the distance between things. You can also model it if you have enough data. So you can also get it from either.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, since they say that they use the model, I kind of want to see people verify that.
Like live data in vivo, or
Yeah, I want
it'd
to
probably
see.
be in vitro.
Well, yeah, I want to see it happen in vitro, and I was kind of thinking about what the techniques they'd be using for that. I was reading into some methods that they would use to see or to test protein interactions. What was I? Yeah, co-immunoprecipitation and Western blotting. I don't know. So this was using like trying to isolate a protein using like an antibody that corresponds to it. I don't know. I mean, really, you should just be able to take. I mean, I feel like you should just be able to take, a sample of blood or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or just maybe just isolated red blood cells. Like introduce the virus to it and see what happens, right? I mean, could you isolate the hemoglobin out of that and then look at the hemoglobin structure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Pretty sure you can also develop like a chromatography method to see the difference between a regular oxygenated hemoglobin and one that has binded to the envelope of the coronavirus.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that's pretty much.
But that's actually really cool. Not cool, but really interesting.
Well, it is really cool.
Now that it's not cool that it's killing people, but now
I mean, I'm not saying that killing people is cool.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that the science is cool.
Yeah, the science is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool that it might be able to help more people survive.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense now that it's using the ACE2 receptor, and that's why it's really hitting the lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually makes so much sense.
So in other news, have you seen this article about I guess it's the Irish Prime Minister who's returning to medicine for this pandemic?
Is he a doctor?
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Is he gonna die?
I don't know. I hope not.
How old is the Prime Minister?
I don't know. You know, he looks like he could be in his 40s or something. I don't know his exact age, but he says he's not working as much as like a normal doctor. He says he's going to be working a shift a week. I mean, that's still pretty considerable though. That's kind of scary.
No,
Pretty
yeah,
scary.
I think anyone who leads the efforts to combat this, like he already has the connections with everyone, you know? I think he's better off instead of trying to be a martyr. He should just keep doing what he's doing where he is.
So you're saying that he shouldn't go back to practicing?
Yeah, no, like it's admirable, but he already has such structures set up for
It's too much of a risk. It's not worth it.
It's too much of a risk. Yeah, it's not worth it. There's definitely other people who are younger and more likely to survive.
I mean, I would say it's pretty admirable though, right?
No, yeah, like
that's
just
crazy.
even him offering.
He could potentially spread it around though.
Oh, that's true. As soon as he makes the shift, he can't come back.
And like to a completely different portion, right? I mean, he's going to be dealing with other politicians.
The high class.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he can't really like isolate himself during the rest of the week. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense, right?
He can work from home.
Work from home.
Yeah. Lead Ireland from.
But, you know, I guess if they're really that desperate for doctors, and maybe this is the best.
I mean, India still exists.
What?
India? What? This is Ireland.
Yeah, I know, but India still exists.
Yeah, okay.
You know, their major export is doctors.
Yeah, doctors.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Ireland or was it the UK where they where people were burning 5G towers?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in the UK. I heard about that.
Wait, they're burning 5G towers?
Yeah, apparently the new thing is like the new conspiracy is that 5G is causing COVID-19.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
What's wrong with those people? They don't want fast feeds that fry your brain at the same time?
Like it doesn't make like where do you see these 5G not even towers, right? They're like really small.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like they're not even widespread enough to cause any issues. If like, okay, first of all, it's really crazy to say that 5G would cause COVID-19, but let's just say it was the case. Like they're not around barely anywhere.
Yeah, like why is it that they're causing disease everywhere if they're only like in some places?
If they really want to get something, they should get radio towers. Like those things go far. Like if they want to spread COVID through radio waves, that's how you get it.
You know what kind of what kind of waves? The 5G towers are using. They're using like microwaves.
Oh yeah, because they're using microwaves.
I think so.
Wait, is that okay?
Well, you know the sun is way worse, right?
Have you watched the first Batman movie?
What, the first one?
Yeah, where they use microwaves to like the one with Scarecrow. That sounds like the freaking Scarecrow one.
Yeah, so it says so 5G employs millimeter waves for the first time in addition to microwaves that have been used for older cellular technologies, 2G through 4G. But the thing is, 5G is a lot more limited than 4G range-wise. So you'd have to set, let's say you're like in a city like SF, right? You're gonna have to set like a 5G antenna on every single block. The range is pretty limited.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds like an infrastructure nightmare.
Yeah. So really,
just attach them to the power line.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, even then, like it's not gonna reach that far. Really, the only places where 5G is viable is cities.
Yeah, next to large like corporate buildings.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it to have it in suburbs.
It's already barely worth it to have in suburbs. People have HughesNet, the little satellite internet.
No, that's like rural stuff.
Yeah, satellite internet.
Well, like suburb Ohio is basically rural.
You're like 1,000 ping.
That's when it's good.
Wait, wasn't Elon supposed to be doing some kind of
Oh, he
internet?
launched them. They're launched.
What was it called? Something Link?
I don't know. Starlink.
Yeah.
Internet.
Starlink. Yeah, that's what it is. Here, I have it right here.
He said it wouldn't affect like space travel, right? That's what he promised.
I mean, I don't know. He's trying to kill us all. I don't know.
Whoa, what the?
He did say we're in the simulations.
It says Starlink will be 1 gigabit per second.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
No way.
Wait, what?
Ow. Like, imagine the latency. You're shooting up signals from space.
Yeah, but it's a vacuum.
I mean, just the distance, though. Actually, how far up is it?
I think it's like low, whatever.
So
Low
Starlink
orbital.
is 550 kilometers. Wow. That's very close. So, around 200 miles up? 300 miles up?
Yeah, it's like low orbit.
What the heck? So, the satellite can technically be closer to you than like Las Vegas, right?
That's a very interesting analogy.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think of it. Compare like the vertical distance to like horizontal on the Earth, right? Like
this is America, George. You have to compare everything to football fields.
Yeah.
How many football fields, George?
Yeah. Okay.
I actually want to see how many football fields are in a mile. Football fields, 2 miles. That's an actual unit.
The unit is 100 yards, right?
No, yeah, but then you have to. There's like, it's not metric, so then it's like 5,000.
Like it's 0.05 miles.
No, it says 17.6.
How does that fit so nicely?
It says 17.6 football fields in a mile.
Okay, that's good to know.
So if you guys checked out this link yet, I have this right here. See in the Discord. I'm just gonna play it.
All right.
I'm reading through his feed. It sounds very horrible. On average, 3 patients have been dying per night without their families being able to see them.
Oh man, this guy was like really falling apart towards the end.
So who are the commercial distributors?
Of what?
Specifically?
You know who it probably is? It's probably Jared's company.
Oh no.
Commercial distributors of what?
PPE. There's medical equipment. Those in the video, like the reporter is asking, I don't know who's he even talking to. It's a military guy. Well, what's happening right now is that there's this program right now that Jared Kushner spearheaded, and I want to say it's
spearheaded.
It's called Project Airbridge. Yeah, what? Yeah, so FEMA is funding these flights. Well, they're buying these supplies, and then they're funding the flights. They're bringing the supplies from overseas. And then apparently they're going to these private sector distributors.
Okay, so there's a third party involved for no reason.
Yeah, and then the private sector distributors are selling it to states.
What?
Yeah.
Why not just give it away?
You know, well, they're trying to make money off it.
Well, they already made money off of it when they bought it from.
Well, it's FEMA that's buying it initially, right? Like they're not making money, but if it goes through like private company, like they can figure out how to like.
You mean
that's
like
how they get their margin.
Money?
What?
You mean unethical money? Because FEMA would also have the money to distribute the goods.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I'm saying, like the way that it should be done is that FEMA gets it and then just distributes it to the states, right?
And they can also use like other nonprofits like Red Cross or any other people like volunteers. To distribute it for free.
But so they're making the states. I mean, they're making the companies buy it, and then the companies sell it to the highest bidding state. Like, I don't know.
So would this mean that pretty much the biggest states get all the supplies?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think because it's going through the private companies, there's not really any accountability for how it's actually getting into the hands of the states, right? So, like, does anybody really actually know?
No, it's like the Puerto Rico thing where just people lost food.
I don't know. It's just like stuff just disappears.
We'll just find it in a warehouse like 3 years.
Yeah, we'll just find it in a warehouse. That's exactly what happened with Puerto Rico.
Well,
they just found like food. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's stories about shipments of medical equipment being seized at airports by the federal government.
Oh, man.
So I think they're trying to, buy up all the medical equipment so that they can funnel it through the private companies.
The federal government is also preventing like 3M from sending supplies to other countries.
I mean, so do you think that's a good thing or what?
Well, no, because like other countries provide us the exports that we need to make the masks in the first place. So then if we boycott the other countries, it's not boycott's not the right word, but if we prevent the other countries from getting the supplies, and they won't send us the supplies to even make the mask or whatever supplies we need.
I mean, other countries. It'll
be like
Be like what?
Yeah.
Well, other countries right now, like India. I know India they're stopping their shipments of medications. Like they're stopping their exports.
To where?
Well, to anywhere. Like they're keeping it in India. Like they're blocking their exports. Period.
Yeah, see, it's like mutually. If this happens, it will be mutually assured destruction. Not completely, but it's kind of similar to that. Just like if everyone does this to everybody, it just needs one bad apple. Yeah. And then it'll just ruin everything because we're like a world, like we export with other countries now. We're dependent on each other.
Well,
So if one of
quality
us
is getting.
becomes greedy, then we'll
Hey,
all kill
your
each other.
audio.
Quality is
You gotta
getting
fix
pretty
your
bad.
audio.
Do I?
Yeah,
Is it bad still?
it's better now.
Try it
Okay.
again.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah?
issues.
Yeah, that was probably the 5G I was connected to. Someone burnt it down.
Yeah, somebody burnt down your tower.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so this is some interesting stuff. I mean, the whole point of having FEMA is to simplify the supply chain, right? But because you're making it more complicated, and it's my suspicion that Trump is using it as a way to make sure the supplies get into the hands of his supporter states, and maybe like the battleground states. Like I think he's trying to use it strategically. Well, either to make some money out of it or to help increase his chances of winning the next election.
I'm not sure if it'll help either way because a lot of those states that do support him, they're just not following the shelter-in-place rules at all. So it doesn't matter how many ventilators they have.
Yeah.
They're gonna die just anyways. They're going to church.
Scary.
They're going to church still. They're still going to church, and then there's the church that's like. Did you see that article? It's like church. It was involved with 70 coronavirus deaths due to exposure or something.
Well,
Some
those were
mega
the
church.
Korean church, right?
Huh? No, it was an American church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, so there is this article that was really cool that I have it on my stream right now. You guys are looking, but it's about how you can measure viral load and sewage to see where the disease is. And have you ever heard of that before?
Nope.
Well, apparently, like it's a really old practice. Like they've been using it since polio outbreaks. To figure out if like vaccinations are working, right? Because then you can see that the amount of like viral particles in the sewage is going down, right?
Oh yeah. How come the additives that they add to the water don't affect the viral load?
Well,
I'm pretty sure the chlorine and all the other biological, I don't know, fluids that also go into the sewage must. I mean, if it's a thing, then obviously it works, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just
you're
curious.
just saying, like, how is it not getting affected?
Yeah, how is it not being maybe denatured?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they have like a post-metabolized viral entity that they're looking for that's not like the original.
Well, I mean, these viruses are able to survive going through, somebody's stomach, right? It's like they're pretty,
yeah, but within a cell, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really too sure, but the most interesting thing here was how they said that I guess if they were to lift the lockdown, right, they would be able to see if cases are coming back by measuring the amount of viral particles in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So because considering how much of an issue it is that it has such a long incubation period, right? Meaning is 5 days, but they say that you can detect it in somebody's waste after like 1 or 2 days. So it gives you a head start in trying to figure out, if it's going around. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they do that with water quality, right? With the enterobacteria stuff.
Yeah. It's like a pretty regular thing. right? You always have to test your water quality to see what's what the viral load is. But I mean, probably wouldn't normally test the sewage, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't be my first place to test.
Yeah, you'd probably test it after.
But I mean, it is a pretty nice way of getting some uniform data because everyone poops.
Okay. So I realized that there's this one thing that I really wanted to talk about, which is
Boris Johnson?
No. Whoa. Yeah, so he was actually just hospitalized this morning. Right.
He must be really bad if they told us, because if he wasn't.
No, he had a video on YouTube.
Wait, but that was like a week ago.
That was a week ago?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
I thought that was 7 days in, and right now he's like on the 10th day or something.
Well, the thing is that that makes it even worse though, because if somebody is still sick like 2 weeks in and they're not getting better, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
It means that they're gonna have more severe disease.
So I read that the 10th day is the deciding day. It's like whether you're gonna die or live.
Yeah.
That's when it really hits, like your body actually. That's when you can tell whether the body can actually fight it off by itself, or if it needs like outside help.
Yeah, it's basically like, that's when you know if you're gonna end up on a vent or not.
A vent?
Yeah.
Just attach you to the sim AC.
Ventolin.
Yeah. Couple puffs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what was really crazy? Well, actually, I don't know. Is there anything else about Boris Johnson? You think he's got it bad?
You think he might die?
It's possible.
How old is this guy?
I feel like he's 70.
It's not 70.
I mean, Trump's 74 or something.
Trump doesn't look too bad for 74, right?
That's because he has a nice spray tan.
He on purpose makes himself not look that old.
Oh, it's not too bad. He could do a worse job.
He has makeup.
Boris Johnson.
I mean, his tan line's pretty obvious.
Yeah, Boris Johnson's like 55, I think.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. But he's a smoker, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't really know what's going on. What's the latest update here? I don't think there's anything new.
Japan is about to looks like Japan is preparing for a state of emergency.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the countries that were more under control.
Yeah, they were always bragging. All the news articles was like, why is Japan doing everything right?
They're just hiding it for the Olympics then.
Everything wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So that was like the main thing I wanted to get to. It's like everybody's looking at these numbers, right? Like they actually mean something. But the case numbers only reflect how much testing is going on, right? Like you can't have somebody die of coronavirus if they were never tested for coronavirus.
Did you also see the article in Germany where they did they were taking blood donations of like people, and they randomly selected 60 people, and then like the people said on the survey they've never had coronavirus symptoms, but 40 out of the 60 people had coronavirus.
Yeah.
Like already, like the antibodies.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's pretty crazy.
So that's like, maybe it's not as bad as it sounds,
I think the really interesting thing was that cruise ship, the
Princess.
Yeah, they tested everybody on that ship, and they found that 20% more infected, and then 50% of that 20% was asymptomatic. So I think there's a lot of asymptomatic people out there.
Yeah.
That's why we need to wear masks.
Yeah. 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 So back to the numbers. I should show you this link. There's a link to California's numbers through the COVID tracking project. You've seen this one before. Right now, it lists the total total test results at 116,000. It was updated. It's updated yesterday.
They need to fix the UI on this website. They can make it look nice.
Yeah, what was really crazy was that last weekend, the number of completed tests was at around 30,000, and the number of pending tests was at 55,000. And that was like really scary, because everybody's saying like how California is doing such a good job. So it's like, oh well, we really don't know, do we? Like everybody's trying to make comparisons between different countries and different states about like how good they're doing or how effective they are, but the testing protocol and the amount of tests people are doing and the time that it takes to get tests back is so different for everybody. So you can't really even make any good comparisons, right?
I don't know. Those news articles were always like comparing everybody to Japan. They're like, oh, Japan, they don't shake hands. They bow to each other. That's why they have almost no cases of corona and everything's just fine.
They probably weren't even testing there. You can't have corona if you don't test.
Yeah, they just have a bad case of asthma.
I don't know. Like, it's, like, it's so dumb. It's just like, everybody's like, oh, when the world reached 1 million cases, they're like, wow, 1 million cases. It's like, okay, well, we know that number's a lie. Like, who cares? Like, doesn't mean that there's 1 million cases. It means that we tested 1 million cases. Like, maybe it just shows that we're bad at testing.
How close do you think the death rate is going to be once this is all over? Once it like becomes like infects everybody?
Oh, I'm sure it's no worse than swine flu.
What's the death rate for swine flu?
No, I'm just kidding. That was even less mild than the normal flu, or even more mild than the normal flu. Yeah. The normal flu is like 0.1%. I guess swine flu is like less than that.
I don't know about swine. Last I heard, the flu was 0.2, but
swine flu is relatively mild, but it was hitting younger people harder, which is why they were getting
that's
scared.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like there is like
people
more...
with too good immune systems are vulnerable to some kinds of flus.
Yeah, so that's why they were freaking out originally, but then it turned out it wasn't as big of a deal as they thought. Something like that. Yeah, it ended up being like 0.1%. So, how close do I think the mortality rate is going to be to what they say it is? Well, the WHO said it's 3.4%, right? But we know that the WHO is controlled by the Chinese. And also the WHO said not to wear masks. So, I don't really know if we can trust the WHO for anything.
They're trying to get the head, the CEO, whatever. I don't know what the leader of the WHO, but they're trying to get him fired through a change.org.
Oh, yeah, I signed it.
You did?
I signed it. Lance signed it too, I think. Jeremy, did you sign it?
No, I didn't sign it. I'll sign it.
Wait, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, yeah. That was
no,
the same petition.
They already spam me. They already spam my email every time I sign up for a petition.
Yeah, that's true. It's annoying to use that website.
Wait, I don't think I have any spam from there.
You're gonna get it soon.
Okay.
Next time they have like some money to beg. I mean, you could probably unsubscribe, but you're already in like the marketing list, you know?
We'll just report them as spam. Get them in trouble with Google.
Yeah. That's how you kill a company. You just get them in trouble with Google, put them at the bottom of the search history.
Yeah. Get them demonetized.
Oh shit.
Just like us.
No, as long as George edits thing.
Yeah.
You'll just get bleeped.
Just bleep me for a good 20 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as what they say that mortality is, Korea did like the most testing. South Korea did the most testing, and originally it was like 0.6%, but it went up
Mm-hmm.
to like somewhere around 1%. So
Mm-hmm.
that's still pretty crazy because it's like 10 times higher than the flu, and it's super contagious. Like, it has the R naught is like double that of the flu.
1% is like a good percent.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like,
That's actually kind of scary.
they say like 60% of Americans are gonna get it. Then what is that? It's gonna be like
That's a
1%
lot
of
lower
200,
than
2 million, 200 million.
that's a lot lower than I thought it'd be.
What? So that'd be like 2 million people? I don't
I
know.
don't know. 2 million people is a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a huge number.
Do those numbers also take into account that the virus can possibly mutate its like nuclear envelope and not be recognized by our current antibodies?
What I've heard is that it's a pretty good candidate for vaccination, and like it's likely that you'll have immunity to it after the first time. Like it's supposed to not mutate as much as like influenza.
I wonder how they get that come to that conclusion, because RNA is just like a mutation frenzy.
Yeah, I read some stuff about it. I don't quite remember all the details.
I'm not sure why it's not as likely to mutate, but definitely RNA just mutates, and if it kills itself, it kills itself. If it causes like deadly diarrhea, then it'll cause deadly.
Yeah, I was thinking, they found corona in some tigers at the zoo. I was like, oh no, what if that's it? what if that's the key?
Tiger virus?
Yeah, what if that's the key that unlocks the real virus, like the real scary one? The one that kills like half the people it infects.
Yeah, just gotta make sure you don't get coughed on by a tiger, Stop eating Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. Be sure, next time I see Tony, tell him to wear a
mask. Yeah, no more Cheetos for me.
No more Cheetos. Say goodbye to Chester.
Yeah, Chester needs to get locked up for a while.
He wasn't lying when he says dangerously cheesy. It's because he's got that Rona.
These are so bad. George, dude.
Yeah, that's what you like, though.
George, this hurt. Like,
this is what you like. This is your favorite.
I know you. Yeah, I know you do, George. Oh, this is so good, but bad.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll have fun listening back on this. Just make yourself laugh.
As long as you don't get George to edit all of it, we should have an uncensored version.
Yeah.
We should have an R-rated.
That's the OnlyFans version.
Yeah. You gotta pay premium.
Yeah.
George, what the fuck?
What? I'm just trying to be culturally irrelevant.
Yeah, you're definitely not irrelevant.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
Heffalump.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else? Jeremy, you had some links?
I don't know. I didn't look.
Jeremy, you gotta take some improv classes or something. You can't just say, I don't know, I didn't look. You make us sound like amateurs.
He just talks in binary. Don't give him a break.
It's just a string of ones and zeros.
Let's see.
If we're lucky, we get some hexadecimals.
Jeremy will just answer in no's and yeses.
It's like one beep is yes, two beep is no.
So, I guess really quick, predictions.
Are you going to talk about the S&P futures, Joe?
Is that you, Joe Biden? You having trouble there, Sleepy Joe?
I'm sick and tired.
Oh my God! That reminds me. There's this video clip of saying that of Trump saying that like Joe Biden doesn't even know what he's looking at. He was like Joe Biden tweeted something about his press conference, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what? Joe didn't tweet that. You know, Joe had some of the staff member tweeted that. Like, you know, even if he was watching, he probably wouldn't even know what he's looking at." I was just like, "Oh, like he's probably right." That was way too good.
Yeah, he needs to get something better than Sleepy Joe, because Sleepy Joe is.
If when they go to a debate, like Trump is gonna wreck Joe Biden.
He's gonna demolish him.
Like it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be really sad.
Because Joe Biden shuts down. Like, you know, he doesn't. He kind of thinks about it and then he stumbles upon his thoughts.
You know, he like forgets where he is and he starts thinking about, you know, the good old days.
He forgets what year he saved like a corporate general or something.
Just starts thinking about the good old days when he owned slaves.
He's like, it was 1974 and
Yeah, did I ever tell you about this kid down the street named Blackie? Yeah, he gets into his like weird, like semi-racist anecdotes. It's like, I remember when they couldn't drink from the same water fountain.
Oh my God. I like when he refers to the war and then it's either like really before or really after. He's like, it's 1974 and it was the the War of Pigs or something. It's like, what?
Oh, no, I thought you were gonna say he would talk about the Revolutionary War.
It's like, I remember the Gettysburg Address back when I was a boy in 1920s.
You know, I think you got some dates mixed up there, but maybe you were just role playing Joe Biden.
I was role playing Joe Biden.
You were role playing Joe Biden.
I was role playing Joe Biden. Even I wouldn't get that.
Yeah,
I know what happened in the 1920s. Some people get to vote. That's all.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so
it's not wrong.
When are we getting out of lockdown? Jeremy, you go first.
We're making bets.
Jeremy.
All right, let's do a bet.
What are we betting? Can we give proprietary rights to Kotaticast?
1 Bitcoin.
Got that much money, George.
That's a lot of money.
I'll take a Dogecoin. How much is a Dogecoin?
All right. 10,000 Dogecoins. Let's bet 10,000 Dogecoins.
Hey, wait, how much is that? I don't know.
Okay, one
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin is 0.001. So it's 1/10 of 1 penny.
All right, let me pull up a calculator. So what did I say? 10,000?
Yeah.
All right. So we'd have to pay.
I'm getting $18.96.
It's $18.
That's what I'm getting. I don't know what Jeremy's getting 14. I might be wrong.
How are you using a calculator, Jeremy? You have the internet.
No, I was looking at the rupees.
That stuff's not valid here. It's on lockdown.
Playing Legend of Zelda?
Yeah. They
Zimbabwe
turned off
What?
Zimbabwe dollars. You mean air?
Yeah. So
yeah.
what month are we coming out of lockdown?
All right, 1898. We have $18 on the line.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Whoever gets the month correctly wins. Jeremy, you go first.
Let's see.
Oh, you got 10 seconds. 8, 7.
Wait! Before we do this, does that include a secondary quarantine?
No, it includes this one.
So just this quarantine.
What are the chances of a secondary quarantine?
Well,
after that, people are just gonna accept they're gonna die.
We don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
All right. Let's see.
When is the first quarantine ending? When is the first lockdown ending?
I'm saying July.
For California.
I'm saying, California.
Yeah, Bay Area. When are we going on lockdown?
I'm saying June.
Okay. Isaac.
I want to go into technicalities, whether like we're gonna test for people who already had it and then they can go back to work, and that's like temporary, not quarantine, or that's not quarantine. But okay. I'm gonna say August, just because they're shutting down the school until August. So I'm going August.
Ooh, okay. All right. I'll say July. All right, let's record this.
Just put it on the chat. Just put it on the chat.
This thing's gonna get lost.
We don't type anything on there. It's just George asking us why we don't answer.
No, it's gonna be links, and then I'm gonna have to look through the links. Just put in the notes. What? What did you say? 100,000 Dogecoins? 10,000? Okay.
Wait, are we locking in the price of a Dogecoin as of now?
No.
Oh no! Okay.
No, we're not locking it.
Okay.
Whatever happens, happens.
Okay, whatever. That's spicy. Okay, I like it. This could work out in our favor.
And if one of us isn't around.
Why did you have to say it? Oh, you mean because one of us is in Ohio, right? Is that what you mean?
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
I think he was implying someone was gonna die.
We'll try to salvage that, huh? Alright, Jeremy, June, Isaac, August, and I'll be July. Alright, so we're saying like no more lockdown at all, right?
Like everywhere, right?
Or no, here.
No, but like everywhere, like all business back to, right?
Oh yeah. Like everything's normal again.
I don't think we can. I don't think we can just have a Bay Area, like non-lockdown. I think the whole country has to be off lockdown.
Well, already did it for us.
No, yeah, we can still go off that, but like.
I mean, if you look at the red states, like I don't think they're going to be off lockdown for a year.
I don't think they'll ever be on lockdown.
Well, the ones that aren't locked down right now, like they will be. They will be.
I don't know.
Once they figure out how bad things get.
I think those red states won't be red anymore after Corona's done with.
Yeah, they'll be purple.
Oh yeah, dude, is that like a reference to like their blood not having any oxygen?
I mean, no, it's, like a reference to a swing state, a mix of red and blue. I mean,
I didn't know it was purple.
Sure, we can go with your answer.
I thought you were getting really dark. I didn't want to mention it, but I mean, that sounds like George.
Okay, sounds like you.
Sounds like me.
You're the one who brought it up.
Nah, okay. You said purple.
Okay, let's do another one. Okay, war with China.
China. Wait, does that include Taiwan?
Are we gonna get into a war with China in 2020?
Oh my god. I don't even want to think about that. Okay, I hope not.
Oh, we can't. What's China even gonna fight us with? Like their extra old Navy clothes or something?
What? What does it even mean?
Like, what are they gonna just like throw factories at us? Like, what are they gonna do to us?
I don't. They got some stuff.
Hey, those guys can build like skyscrapers in 10 days.
They got some cars up their sleeves.
Yeah, but they fall apart in like 30.
They copied our jets. They actually just copied all of our technology.
Yeah, they have spies everywhere.
All of our electronics are manufactured there. Like they just take everything. They already know how to build everything.
We still have like don't we have the Huawei president? Like, didn't we arrest that
the
person?
hostage? The daughter or something?
Oh yeah, that was in Canada.
Oh.
No, they extradited her to America, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. How about we just do a prediction next time? I'll think of something else that we can do a prediction on. What about a short-term prediction?
The percentage of the mortality rate.
Percentage of mortality.
The mortality rate within a certain time.
I mean, that's like we won't even know that until like it's over and they look at the data.
Yeah, I know that. Just like use whatever data is next.
No. I mean something short term, like something that's gonna happen in the next week.
In the next week?
Yeah, like this is an open-ended one. Like, make some kind of prediction of something that's gonna happen in the next week.
My APY will keep going down. My savings.
Okay, I mean we already know that.
It actually didn't go down too much. It's like 1.58.
All right, I'll say it.
Yeah.
Pence is gonna catch it.
Oh, that's spicy. Pence is he's gonna catch the gay, right?
No, I don't think he's gonna.
He's gonna come out of the closet.
Experience some whole wheat bread.
Okay, Pence equals gay. Pence gets the Rona.
No, you gotta make it rhyme. Like Pence gets repents.
Pence get yeah. Okay, Isaac.
Yes.
Do you have what's your prediction other than your savings APY going down?
I'll get back to you. I'll have something once you're done.
You know, like even if Pence gets it, how are we supposed to know? They're probably gonna hide it anyways.
Yeah, you're not gonna know, so I think that's a bad prediction.
Well,
no. Well, one way we can know is if he stops showing up.
He already doesn't show up.
Maybe he already has it.
Like he was supposed to head the corona efforts, and I haven't seen him since.
Oh my god. I'm gonna make a prediction and say that one of those states that is not currently locked down right now is gonna be in lockdown in the next week.
Well, like, state.
Like there's gonna be more statewide lockdowns in this next week.
That's like the rest of Florida.
I think all of Florida is locked down now. All Florida is locked down now.
Finally.
Yeah. But there's like 12 other states that aren't locked down. I think it's a pretty safe prediction to say that at least one of those states is going to get locked down in next week. Has to, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's why I'm making this prediction, because it's a good prediction. Because I hope it's going to happen.
I don't know. They're ignorant. Like I think they brought it upon themselves that they're not sheltering themselves.
That's what makes it an interesting prediction, because it could actually not happen. It could legitimately just not happen. Okay.
All right. I think in 2 weeks they'll start enforcing California shelter in place.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say mandatory hijabs, but
who jobs?
Hijabs. Like
kebabs.
No, hijab. Veil.
I think you're pronouncing it wrong.
Well, I don't think so. Anyways, do you say mandatory lockdown?
Oh no, yeah, but like they're gonna actually like be patrolling the streets and like kicking, like finding people.
So say like they're actually gonna enforce lockdowns.
Yeah.
California.
You know, one thing that I think could happen soon is Bernie drops out.
Oh, do you want to add that on to Pence getting Rona?
I think you should just switch it, because Pence is not going to get Rona as far as we know.
We probably won't even know if he does.
Yeah.
We'll say Bernie drops out, right?
Yeah, within the next 2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks.
Drop out. Too much pressure from everyone. 2 weeks. And you know, I don't think he should drop out. Just stick around and see what happens.
You mean after the primaries? It's kind of dangerous.
What do you mean after the primaries? During the primary?
Oh yeah, it doesn't hurt to stick around during the primary. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Joe wins. Wait, but how's voting working now? I know they're saying they're doing mail-in, but I feel like it's gonna skew everything.
Oh, yeah. There's this one state they're doing a primary, and they're just like saying, "Oh, let's just go ahead." Right? The GOP in that state is like saying, "Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and do it." So I'm pretty sure they know it's gonna work out in their favor.
How? Aren't most old people like Republican?
You know, those people don't even care about the virus.
Like they're just gonna die.
They think it's a conspiracy.
They're gonna die voting for the primary. They're gonna be alive for the actual like election.
Well, you know, it helps their state government.
Wait, why does the GOP even want them to vote during the primary? There's no one to vote for. Like it's either Trump
they vote
or
for like their candidate for Senate and stuff. Like that's pretty important.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Is that during the primary as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're just voting for who the nominee is for the state senator. And then you actually vote for the senator on election day. Oh my god, I'm trying to, you know, there's a video where Trump he's scared of somebody coughing. What's that lady doctor's name?
I'm gonna say Nancy. No, but I saw that one. It was pretty funny. She's like, I had a mild. She's like, I had a mild fever, and then Trump's like, oh.
It's so good.
He actually says, uh-oh, and he like runs away.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You can look it up.
So good.
Like Trump running away from coughing.
Oh, it's even better because I saw it in like a Reddit post.
I kind of liked it without sound the first time.
Wait, are you sharing the wrong screen?
No. Man, I don't know. I'll find it later. Yeah, I mean, I found the link to it, but I want to find the Reddit one. The Reddit one's pretty funny. Okay. All right, I think that's it.
Okay.
I think we're done. We're headed back to lockdown.
Dr. Deborah burps.
The FEMA's coming to put us back in our cages.
I can't wait for my FEMA check.
Yeah. Can't wait
it
for
was a big joke.
Keys.
It was a big joke during the New Orleans, the Hurricane Katrina thing, because it just never came. Like it even got into Boondocks.
Yeah.
They're like their biggest fear, a job application, the FEMA check never comes.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna stop recording now.